we done started and we are recording. It's gonna be a great show today.
Wait a minute. You can't start the show like
I'm sorry. I've started.
Wow.
Not with the comment I just said though, but
oh man, go on start the show. They watch it now. They know I'm laughing. Yeah, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard you say, and I'm not even gonna expose you for it.
No, you cannot expose me for it. I will take a trip to Florida anyway. Hello, welcome to Culture Gumbo. I am one of your hosts, Shakira.
I'm Will. I'm trying to catch my breath. Welcome to Culture Gumbo, the place where we provide you everything in your culture news. We have interesting conversations about nothing with everything in between.
Pretty much.
Once again, that's Shakira. I'm Will. I wish I could share with y'all what was said right before we came on.
But some things are left to be unsaid because they don't need to be discussed on Culture Gumbo.
I just feel like that was the ultimate thing, and like
I ain't ready to release that side of me.
Women need to be able to call that out and say that.
I'm not ready to release that side of me yet. Now, when we really get some real viewers, and my life is in a different.
Why I gotta take for that? This is
because
perfect.
I don't need nobody knowing. Anyway, I'm a private person. Let's keep it there. So.
Wow,
we got a great show for you guys today. All that stuff that Will just said, far few between, some of nothing, some things, but it's gonna be great. You'll laugh, and we have no sad news today, so kudos to that. We always like to start the show off with how you're feeling, how's your mental doing, what's going on.
Is sad. I don't care what you got to say about that. One of these topics is sad. That's our women problem now.
Okay. How you feeling? How you doing?
Before I began filming this episode of a great show such as Culture Gumbo, I was feeling good, and then Shakira came out here with the grumpy gills and decided not to keep swimming.
I'm having a great day. My day is great.
I'm wonderful though.
I didn't work. I called out. It's lovely.
Yeah, that's like this. Well, I'm not gonna call that out either. But
no, you could say now that's sort of like the fifth time you done called out.
It's like the second,
listen, people, you come first. Your mental health is important. So the reality is, if you wake up and you just not having that day mentally, and you say, I'm not beat for the work right now, do what you need to do, because you are just a number at your job.
Amen.
And when you realize that, I'm just a number and I get checks. So whatever. Anywho,
understandable.
I got time to record the show today though.
I'm feeling good today. I'm in a good headspace. I got some good rest. It's been a really good week for me. It's been a really good week for me.
This has been a waiting week. Well, okay, good.
Wow. This is stuff.
I just said wavy.
I've got some really great feedback on the work that we're doing on the other podcast that I'm a part of.
Shout out to I'm gonna mess the name up.
My team, my voice. It's a sports podcast network that I'm also
check that out, guys. All you sports fans.
I'm in the process of developing more stuff. Me and Shakira are actually in the works of creating a media company. Clap for that.
We don't have
so it's just a lot going on right now, man. It's good vibes. Happy, I'm peaceful. Mountain Valley spring water was on sale. Let's get it.
Nobody drinks that. Anyway,
that's because you're not sedity enough.
No, honestly, I did hear about that, and I was gonna order it, and it's like $30 for like a pack of 12.
Hold up, shorty. So let's not lie to the people. Now I know when we get on tangents. Shakira orders essential water by Amazon to be delivered to her.
I know I'm not the only one.
You know what I'm saying?
It comes automatically every 2 weeks, 2 cases.
And how much are those cases a piece?
I don't know, but I pay like $22
Okay, and
for
this is you pay $22 for how many bottles?
the 2 boxes.
How many boxes is that?
2.
I mean, how many in there?
24. Well, 12
Okay.
per case, but they're 33 ounces.
But this is natural. This is natural alkaline water from the spring that I'm trying to put you on to.
No, I heard of that, and I
tried to put Shakira on to sea moss. Shakira wasn't trying to hear it.
I did. You lying?
Elderberry.
Don't tell no
Shakira wasn't
lies.
trying to
I
hear
have
it.
elderberry. I have sea moss. Cut it out. You talking to somebody that actually attempts to eat as healthy as possible.
I'm talking to a Beyonce hater and somebody who rolled the poll for George Bush. But
now I rolled the poll. I rolled.
That's what you did. You was on the poll for George Bush.
I wasn't on nobody's poll.
You didn't work the polls for George Bush?
I didn't work the polls.
You didn't work the polls for George Bush. What did you do?
No, I didn't tell you George. I said George Bush, and it was
George Bush, fam. George W.
I
Bush.
misspoke. Anyway,
you was with the Bush family.
Moving on. Listen, I'm about the dollars. So the reality is, if I got paid for a job, yes. And if y'all don't know me, you will know me. I have had a lot of different jobs in my lifetime, and you might have seen me at Costco giving out cheese. I mean, Baby Bell, Philadelphia. Anyway, I've had a lot of jobs, and I'm a hustler. So
basically, what Shakira is saying is that for the dollar, she gonna sell you out.
The job. So whatever.
Shakira.
I just want to do every job.
On the stand.
Put that.
She's Nino Brown on the stand, and she ready to snitch on Kareem Akbar.
I'm not a snitch, though. I'm not a snitch. I'm from the hood. I'm not a snitch. Unless it's costing me my freedom, then
we're on a tangent. But you were working for George W. Bush, so you got to be.
Anyway, moving on. Well, Will has said how he's feeling. I am in a better mood this week than I was last week, so I'll just put that out there. So that's good. That's progress, right? I feel
like this is a conversational episode because of what one of the main topics is, because you know how you do, and I'm not gonna get into it yet, but I feel like you've made conversational day for that purpose, and I'm not with it. I'm defending the fellas, and I'm not apologizing. So
anyway, so I'm feeling great. Let's get the show started. Culture news.
Definitely, let's get into it. So if you have not watched, or if you're not planning to watch, the January 6th primetime hearing on the what do we want to call this? On the coup that that took place. Right. The hearing, it was watched by more than 20 million people. Mm-hmm. Of course, Fox News was not one of those channels, as Fox News has decided that they were not going to be airing Thursday's presentation about the January 6th attacks. But it reached Fox a far larger number of people through literally every way possible. It was on social media, old school news. Nielsen estimated that 9 of the channels that carried the hearing averaged a combined 19 million viewers during the 2-hour hearing. Now, Shakira, I know you're big into politics, but also know that this wasn't really something that you wanted to pay attention to. So how do you feel about that? Did you get a chance to see it? What were your thoughts on that?
I did not see it. I've watched clips of it. I'll say that. I did not see it. Not shocked that it had that much viewing. Not shocked that Fox didn't air it, because we already know which wing they're on. I don't have too much to say about it, honestly. Yeah.
No. You know what's interesting about this is that and you know my dad, he watches like all news channel. My dad is a big political person. He tries to watch Fox News so he can stay informed. But while he's watching it,
always the best, because
not. But he always wants to hear what the other side is saying, right? To see what they're saying. And he curses at the screen the entire time he watches it. But what's interesting is that Tucker Carlson, you know, he has a really loyal fan base. So he completely ignored it. I believe they actually showed the Biden address during that period of time.
They did.
He averages like 3.3 or 3.5 million viewers. But what he did not do is he did not take commercial breaks. And he didn't take commercial breaks because he knew that if he did, they would be tempted
to
to
change the
turn the
channel.
channel during the
Right.
commercial breaks. So it's one of those things where it's just kind of like Fox News is at this point is completely blatant. They're like, listen, we know what the truth is, but we don't want you to hear the truth. We want you to take our truth. So, for them not to show that, and anytime something happens, they'll talk about
And they always
gas.
like to talk about everything, but except only things that favor the upper management. So it's
yeah. And it's crazy because even like places like Newsmax only had 150,000 viewers during that time period. So people really wanted to tune in so they can get a gist of it, even if you were in denial about exactly what happened. I watched a little bit of it, and the hearing is it is what it is. Essentially, it's people coming out and they're telling the truth about the hearing, and it's stuff that we already know, but it's kind of confusing to me. It's like it's one of those things where it's an open and shut case. Like,
right.
Listen, we know what happened. Why don't you prosecute these people? But what's interesting is that the more and more you watch it, it goes down a deeper rabbit hole, and you're like, damn, so that happened too.
Right,
so,
right. It became a show.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. So, definitely keep an eye out for it. I'm not a big proponent on watching stuff like that. Like, I like to keep, especially not even just for the show, but just for my personal thoughts, I like to keep watch for it. But it's one of those things where, like, with so much happening, just give me the meat and potatoes. I don't need all the extra stuff.
Really?
I don't need all that. I'll read the articles. I'll do the research myself. But the hearing is just too much to just sit and watch and relive all that.
And that's why I didn't tune in.
Yeah.
But understandably, we should stay in the know because America's a sneaky place.
Said it's a sneaky place
and grimy and all that good stuff. So the U.S. recently announced, I think that was 2 days ago, that the COVID-19 testing requirement for air travelers is now washed to pants and no longer required. This makes me happy because I'm going out the country in a few weeks, and now I won't have to worry about getting tested the day before. I mean, not like, I don't anticipate getting COVID again. But what shocks me though is people are still out here getting COVID. So
which is why I don't understand
why, and then not only that, but when I traveled a month ago and there were so many people in the airport, no mask, so many people on the plane, I could probably count on one hand, including myself, of people that had a mask on. And then I'm like, yeah, and y'all are wondering why COVID is still present today, because just because y'all got vaccinated doesn't mean anything, because everybody still, it's not 100%, it's not even 90% of the US that's vaccinated. So, right. Or people got one shot and didn't get the other. I had a family member recently who got COVID, and they're okay, thank God, but my thing is it to kill us off? Like, I almost think there's this underlying of like, are we lessening things to just to prove to who that we're good over here in the US, because the reality is the hospital numbers still don't say that. It's just people are handling it, or people are getting it and they just don't care. They don't care if they don't care. They're still going on trips. They're still booking hotels.
Well, the thing you have to remember is that this is actually for people who are entering the US. So this isn't, I don't know how this affects people who are leaving the US. This is for people who are entering the US. Saying.
If I go out the country right now, when I come back, I don't have to take a test. So you're telling me I can go to any country living in the US and I can come back with COVID, but I don't have to take a test to say that, you know what I mean? And who else am I going to spread that to? So I feel like, are we moving backwards? Are we going to see an influx in cases now because you already dropped the mask mandate. It's one thing if we still had the mask mandate in the air, and then you dropped it because you seen everybody was following protocol and wearing masks. But now even the flight attendants don't wear masks. So all this traveling, and this is what we're doing. I think it's bad too, because I don't know. I just don't agree.
I don't think it's a good idea to lift it, only because we're going into the summer months, we're going into the fall, and I've seen conflicting reports. Some that have said that COVID cases are on the uptick, which I do believe, because we're going into the summer and people are traveling more. My thing is I believe we're always going to be in the pandemic because nobody wants to fully do everything that
Because
needs
we're
to be done.
nasty.
You're still going to get a certain percentage of people who don't want to do it. I still wear a mask everywhere I go. You know what I'm saying? When I go out, I still limit those things, because I was in my car the other day and I was driving past somewhere. I think I was driving past like an Alta or something. And Shorty was outside. I mean, she was fine. But Shorty was outside just coughing up a storm. And she had people around her. And it was like, everybody just kind of went back to living their life. Now, I do know that the CDC plans on reassessing this within 90 days, which we all know what can happen within 90 days.
Yeah,
so that sounds crazy.
A few hundred people could die.
Yeah, so the Biden administration actually plans to work with airlines so they can make sure there's a smooth transition to change. I don't really see how that's going to happen when a lot of people still weren't wearing masks. The CDC actually said in a statement to CNN that the COVID pandemic has now shifted to a new phase due to the widespread uptake of highly effective COVID-19 vaccines, the availability of effective therapeutics, and the accrual of high rates of vaccine and infection-induced immunity at the population level in the United States. Each of these measures has contributed to the lower risk of severe disease and death across the United States. So while this has been being pushed for the travel industry for at least the last month now, I know because working in the travel industry, but some people are not as keen on it. But then there's a lot of people like lawmakers who also are advocating for lifting the requirements. So
right.
I think it's just people are wanting to go so much back to what it was pre-pandemic and not realizing it. So I don't know.
Like even right now. So I just looked at the most recent cases, and as of the 8th of June in the United States, there's 127,728 newly confirmed COVID cases. And in the last 7 days, it's been 122,030 cases on average.
Yeah.
So you may say, well, that's not a lot, but it actually is. And although, so they look at it as, well, if you get it now, you're not going to die. So take the risk.
But that's not the case. Like that's
like
that's such an insinuation to make.
It really is. And I just feel like the people that they're not thinking about is these kids, babies, and elderly. Those with weaker immune systems, they're not considering. It's like, we good. Y'all, your body will fight it off. But what about the babies? Their bodies can't always fight it off. And what about the 85-year-olds? Their bodies can't always fight it off. Even a regular common cold. Like, what people forget is a regular common cold before technology and medicine in the 40s, 50s, people died from a regular common cold because we didn't have the advanced medical technologies that we have today to be able to get antibiotics to fight your system. I doubt people are, you're not just taking antibiotic like it's a vitamin today. But I also feel like everybody has put their wall down now, where it's like, you're not even, are people still using? Because when I go places now, they don't even supply hand sanitizer no more. It's like, whatever, we don't do that no more, we normal, so it's like, are people still using hand sanitizer? Are people still washing their hands? And then we already
people know washing their hands before.
Correct. So even in the food industry, people are nasty already. Like, y'all were nasty already. Now you're making my food. Now you're like, oh, we don't gotta wear masks. I'm sure you're not washing your hands and you're around whoever you want. I still get nervous being around a crowd of people. Someone had asked me the other day, like, Oh, I said I was traveling out the country in a few weeks, and they were like, "Oh, you should go here to the carnival." And I was like, "I'm not ready to go to an event like the carnival." Now, 5 years ago, yes, but today I don't feel comfortable yet. That's just me. I don't feel comfortable being in that kind of crowd. Um, just, without, I don't know. I don't feel safe. And America doesn't make you feel safe anyhow. So
Well, we see how they treating gun control, so I don't know why we're so surprised
right.
about
Listen, get
this
rid of
either.
y'all.
And now it's the monkeypox out here. So continue to go ahead and raw dog your air, and do like Amber Heard and just be shitting on beds and whatnot. I guess I don't know. So I don't.
We
It
are
is what it
not
is.
bringing that one up
Bro,
again this week.
she shit on the
Because
bed, dog. Like, come on. We not we
people are
still we
nasty.
gonna ignore
So
this.
keep washing your hands. Keep using sanitizer. And if you don't wear a mask, fine. There's some places sometimes if I know I can keep my distance from people, then I have gone out to
We live in a country, we live in a world where people know there are STDs out here, and they're like, oh
I'm
man,
still raw dogging it.
but that skin to skin contact feels
But
so
it feels
much
so
better.
good.
So
I'd
I
rather
don't know
die.
what you want to
So
say at this point, man. I'm saying
right. So
either
yeah,
Brenda's got
so
a baby or don't go chasing waterfalls. So that's all I get. All right.
right. And then you know
Oh,
how many cases it's been where like, oh, the man he slept with, I think it was recently, like this man, he slept with 40 people, 40 people in, I think they were Nigeria or but a part of Africa. He was in, I don't want to say Nigeria because it may not have been Nigeria. And he knew he had AIDS and he was sleeping with people. He was specifically targeting Black people. He was a white guy. He came there and he slept with like over 100 women and he knew he had AIDS. And that was like a month ago. I read that story. So I say that to say people don't care if they kill you or themselves. So be careful out here, y'all. Whatever y'all doing, be careful because people don't care about you.
let's let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show today because I'm disgusted. Speaking of being disgusted, the Rolling Stones they recently revealed the top 200 greatest hip hop albums of
all
all
time.
time.
Let's emphasize that.
This list includes everything from the 80s and 90s to current albums today. Now, if you did not get a chance, because before we start talking about this, you need to go take a look at the panel of individuals who voted on this, and it's already received blowback from people like Meek Mills. I know Westside Gunna said something. The Game said you cheating him because he held West Coast rap on his back for 20 years. I don't know what West Coast he talking about because I ain't see Game doing that for 20
Why
years.
is Game always complaining about something?
Well, he said he had this on his back and how the documentary should be high on the list. So just to give you a idea of some of the albums that are on there, Cardi B's album, Invasion of Privacy, made the list at number 16. Lil Kim, Hardcore was at 19. One of the most blasphemous things, Illmatic was at 24. Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday
like
was
that
31.
that was blasphemous. I agree with you on that one.
Kanye West late registration was 14, while Yeezus was 17, and My
Why
Beautiful
was
Dark
Yeezus
Twisted
17?
Fantasy was 6. So you can go to rollingstone.com and view the full list. But what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna give you the top 10 albums on that list. Right. So starting from number one, of course,
can we wait?
B.I.G.
Why is Future number 20?
We're gonna get into that.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, I'm not gonna put a Future album in no greatest rap album list because I don't understand the boy either way. So number one was Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die. Number 2 was Outkast Stankonia. 3 was Jay-Z's Blueprint, Public Enemy. It Takes a Nation of a Million to Hold Us Back at number 4. Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly at number 5. Kanye, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy at 6. Missy Elliott, Miss E, So Addictive. Wu-Tang Clan, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers. A Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory at number 9. And Lauryn Hill at number 10. Now, I noticed a lot of people, even celebrities, were saying that Lauryn Hill should not be in the top 10 because the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is an R&B album.
Technically,
which I agree with.
I agree with. I agree with that.
Other people within the top 10, I won't say within the top 20, I won't give out was Dr. Dre, the 2001 album, that was 13. Clips Lord Willing was 12. Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full was 15. And then Mad Villainy
right
was
who
18.
is that?
I don't even know
who is that? I felt like I was like, okay, let me look up their music because.
So when you saw the list, clearly I can get your thoughts. When you saw the list, what were your initial thoughts when you were reading some of the albums that were on the list and where their placement was? Like, who did you feel was like, you saw this and you was like, this is the most ridiculous shit ever?
Well, that's a lot. I definitely, Future was definitely like what? I felt like The Chronic, I didn't feel like it should have been 40. The Chronic was a dope album. I did agree with Lil Wayne, Carter 3. Carter 3 was 39. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think I agree with Kendrick Lamar being number 4.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked. Into the Wu-Tang, of course. That's a Chance the Rapper. Well, he was 36. I feel like this. I want to know who was a part of the committee of making this list, because the criteria seems, are we going just, I mean, they definitely had to have lyrical. But I also feel like they should have considered producer, the tracks. I thought Snoop would be a little higher. I'm not higher, lower. Doggy Style. And then there was, they were putting like collaboration albums, not collaboration albums, like soundtracks. Right. And I don't know if the soundtrack should really be on the top 200 most hip hop. Like, I don't know. I don't agree with that per se. Chief Keef, good rapper. But he'd be in the hundreds for me.
So if I'm being honest, for me, this list was bullshit when I saw that they had Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style at 35 and Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt at number 26. You had Illmatic at 24. It's Dark and Hell is Hot, DMX, a classic album, was literally number 22. You had It's Dark and Hell. You had these albums behind Future.
Right.
And Mad Villain, which I still don't know who, and maybe that's maybe they were doing it off
of album sales though.
No, I don't. It couldn't have been off of album sales, because if it's off of album
sales, then Jay-Z would have been super high.
Right. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. But then too, what comes to mind for me is there are people who are not a part of our culture, again, deciding what is hot within our culture and sharing it. The Rolling Stones is not the end all be all. I guarantee you
it's probably like 2 Black people in the room who did this. I don't
even think it was that. I would love to. I saw a photo of a group of the people, and it was like, yeah, no, absolutely not. So they showed who voted on it.
They put Eminem before Reasonable Doubt.
With all due respect, it was a bunch of like old white people who.
I mean, because they put UGK before Illmatic, which again, I'm a UGK lover. The Riding Dirty album was great, but it's Illmatic. So the list, we need this needs to be redone by another Black source, and then we really could talk about it, because I definitely think that they definitely had a lot of loopholes, and I wouldn't have done top 200. Honestly, I don't feel like you got 200 tops. Like, I just don't. There's just some people that was just classic. So yeah. But who would you?
it just doesn't make sense to me.
And why is
It's just
Cardi B
kinda
number
like
16?
now don't get me wrong.
No, this album was
No,
great. I'm
I'm
not
not
about to take
right.
that from her.
Right.
Like
Don't get me
Invasion of
wrong. Her
Privacy
album
was
was
good.
great, but there's no way
Top,
like
top. Come on. I wouldn't even put her in top 25. She's a great artist. Don't get me twisted, but come on.
I mean, she has some joints.
Come on.
That's what they said.
Listen, if
They
you
said
can
she
listen,
has some joints.
she has some joints. Not to be number 16. You put her right after Eric B and Rakim. I just feel like you slapped some people in the face, and it was just all wrong.
Until you can tell me who Mad Villain is and how the hell they got so high up, I'm really not trying. And I love hip hop. I don't know
They put the now. Granted, we talked about this. You know, I love the Clips, but why is the Clips number 12? This album, Lord willing, was dope. I'm not taking that away again. Because at the end of the day, right, this is not an easy list to do. And then I don't know if that was a shot because you put Drake at number 11 and the Clips at number 12.
See, the Rolling Stone goes based off popularity. This was not a list that was fully based upon
a real hip hop.
Yeah.
fan.
So you got to kind of take it for what it's worth and be like, oh, okay, this is what it is. But like when you got fucking EPMD, no, when you got NWA Straight Outta Compton at 49,
that's just ridiculous.
And you got, let's see.
But see, you know that's how white people was on the list, because that whole album was about community blackness, and we don't like the police, and we will kill you and take you down. And that was just, they was not about to put that even in the top 25. But if you really listen to that album, I mean, it was for us, by us. So
with that being said, everybody has their favorite albums ever, right? Shakira, what are your top 5 hip hop albums of all time? I'm gonna do it myself, but I'm asking you.
I feel like that's such a hard question.
But this can be your favorite album, so it's always so
it's course, not right. This room, right? So
subjective.
Okay, so here we go. I am gonna say Biggie is definitely my top 5. A Tribe Called Quest.
Which album though? Yeah, give me an album.
Oh,
I mean, we can do top 5 rappers, but
no. Let's do the album, right? I agree. I would say Ready to Die. I would get Ready to Die. I'm not saying, and these are not in order when I say it, because Biggie is Biggie. Like, that's the reality, right? So I will say Biggie. A Ready to Die album. I would actually say, The Blueprint by Jay-Z. I would have to say it's hard. Can't believe Missy Elliott was number 7. I would say Wu-Tang Clan, Into the Wu. I mean, it's a classic, right? Wait, what number am I at? I said Big J.
You said Big J.
Illmatic. Big
That's
J.
3.
Illmatic. I said the Wu.
That's 4.
And Mobb Deep. What is it? What is it? Hell is Hot. Is it Hell is Hot? No. What's the name of their? It's the first one. What's the name of their first album? I should know this, so don't.
Right. I'm like, yo, you.
I know. I know artists. So, dang. Is Mobb Deep though?
Right.
I'm gonna go Mobb Deep. Hell on Earth. Not Hell on Earth. Hell on Earth.
Those are your top 5 albums? Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead. I know you can say Tribe Called Quest.
You already know. A Tribe Called Quest, and for me, I love Midnight Marauders. That was an incredible album for me.
It was.
Notorious B.I.G., Ready to Die is classic. Um,
He was
I
the epitome of great skits. That's why I love a skit album. Like, and I know they won't bring it back because people aren't that creative anymore. But it was the skits for me, like that led into the song.
I don't care what nobody says though. Ready to Die and Life After Death were literally 1 and 2. Like tomorrow, if you ask me to listen tomorrow, I might say Life After Death because that album was amazing. Also,
yeah.
Everyone talks about Jay-Z and they talk about the Blueprint, but to me, the Black Album was
good.
The Black Album was it. Like now, when I get the Jay-Z albums, I get emotional because Jay's my favorite. Outside of Big, it's 1A and 1B. Jay's my favorite rapper of all time. Jay has so many classics that you ignore some of his other albums as being weak, but then you don't realize Kingdom Come was slept on. American Gangster, but
American Gangster was good.
The Black Album did it for me. The Black Album was like no skips, front to back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to me, that's a classic. That is a great album when you can't skip anything.
Yeah,
like, you don't even want to.
Common, I've said this. I said this time and time again.
He's in my top.
Common, in my opinion, has the greatest back-to-back albums
he does
I've ever heard. B and Finding Forever will always clash with me as far as which one I would choose. If I have to choose one today, I'm literally going to go Finding for me, it will be Finding Forever. But it's only going to be Finding Forever because Finding Forever, I get to hear Gil Scott-Heron. I get the production of will.i.am. I get the production of Kanye West. B was Common being like, yo, I'm fucking here. Like, don't forget about me. But Finding Forever was like, all right, I done told you I'm here. Let me go ahead and give you this butter so you can ride out. And Finding Forever and B, those are two albums that outside of Jay-Z albums that I'm like, I can listen to every day. If you put me on the Deserter album, those have to be two albums included. So for me right now, I'm gonna say Finding Forever. So that's what, 4?
Yep.
And my 5th one, and it'll sound funny, but I came up as a shorty, and hip hop is like my love, like everything about it. It's a battle, yo, because dang.
Just say it.
I don't even want to say it, bro.
Just say it. Because
I'm sitting up here thinking about it. I think that Eric B and Rakim's Paid in Full will never get enough credit.
You're right.
When you think about
that was almost on my list as well.
Like, you can be anywhere and you hear that do. I ain't no joke. I used to hear it, and it gets you hype, and then you listen to the album, and lyrically, Rakim was incredible. Like,
lyrically,
even 20 years later, just listening to it, and then you think about all the people that he wrote for. Paid in Full, I think, was the epitome because it set the tone for every other album afterwards. And Snoop Dogg is literally right behind it because Doggy Style, that's a classic. As shorties, we wasn't supposed to be listening to Doggy Style. It was
the nastiest album ever. And we were definitely too young. It was a nasty album. Okay, first of all, the cover already, and I was like, all right, let's this Snoop. And it was a nasty album, but it was a great album.
yeah. So it's like even as we sit here now, I can understand how people struggle with top 5 because I'm like, damn, I want to say DMX is Darkest
Heaven's High. I definitely was about to say DMX,
but then it's like there are other joints also. You know what I mean? There's
in my prime time, that album in my prime time, like in my car when CDs were a thing. So for everybody who don't know CDs. In my car,
we used to flip the book while you was driving.
I had a book of, yes, no. And then I hung around a lot of guys. I had so many classic great CDs that every time someone got in my car, they was still one of my CDs, because
Oh,
I
wow.
had every rap album in my collection, old, new. And it was like, oh, you got this, oh, you got that. And I'm like, and then I'd be looking through my book and I'm like, I'm missing CDs. And it's because I would tell people to play stuff because I'm driving, but they pocketing it. Like, I'm about to take this joint. So,
But not even though he's kind of a considered an asshole by many. Late registration.
I was just about, yeah.
Late registration and graduation, because those were classic. Like
No, they were.
people get so focused on who Kanye is now and this and that and the other, but Kanye,
I can't take away his musical genius and his lyricism and the different thing he brought to hip hop, like in the way he did his albums and just the production style. Like, it was different. He brought something different, and I think that's why I feel like they fell off on this list, is like, as hip hop evolved, from EPMD. I didn't even see LL Cool J. I don't even know what number he was at.
Mama Said Knock You Out is on the list, but it's like in the 40s.
Like, I was like, dang, like there's so many great albums. So it's really hard to do the whole top 5. But I will say, if you don't respect the beginning of hip hop, how could you even rate today? You know what I mean? Because most of those albums, those was 90s albums. I was shocked to see Lil' Kim so high up, although that album was my album. That was my album.
Hardcore.
But yeah, but
that album was my album because of the album cover.
Of course,
like so many teenage boys.
Right. Like, no, she was the first like raw female rapper that wasn't afraid to show her sexuality and rap, and that right there took hip hop. That's where that bought Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. That's why I'm like, how's Cardi B so low on the list as far as her number goes, because I'm like, without the Little Kim and the Foxy Brown, who Foxy should have got her credit, there would be no Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj.
Not to kill off, because I already know I'm gonna get some hits for this, but if we're being honest, Cardi B's debut album was nice.
No,
it's not number 16 nice, but
it's
Cardi
not number
B's
16
album,
nice, but she shocked me. I'll put it that way. I listened to it from beginning to end, and I was like, this is all right.
And in Florida, they love Cardi B. When I first got down here, because I couldn't stand Bodak Yellow, I started having to like Cardi B because they played Cardi B consistently. Right. And then you started hearing her other songs, and then she started doing features. Like, Cardi B really came into her own. Like, she was ready.
She knew what she wanted, and she fought for it. And I appreciate people that earn their spot, and she earned her spot. I don't know about the spot of number 16, but she did earn her spot in hip hop. And I mess with Cardi. So like, I don't take nothing away from her. She rocks.
I feel like we need to do a whole show on hip hop and like our favorites, because I'm literally like thinking to myself, like, Kanye has one of my top 5 favorite songs of all time.
What?
And I miss it. We Major with him, Nas, and really though. You motherfuckers need to do your job and blow up and watch how we go up. And you take a couple to know the so nuts. I take I want to like. Yeah, it's so many classic joints, show. And then I don't like the fact that they try to put Camp Low at like 195. Like,
right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, but if you weren't really, Camp Low, who else did I see on that list? I didn't want it to mess up our
if you follow me on social media, there's a if you follow me on social media, there's a whistling that I do every day. It's like a music. There's
the Black Music Month, and so every day there's a different. I did one of them. I was like, oh, I gotta think because I love it. So if y'all not, I think it's called let me see. I think it's called, is it called Black History Music Month?
I'm about to look it up for you right now because it's an amazing thing to see, especially if you go inside of if it's music sermon. So it's music sermon is it the one that you can follow. So if you go there, you can see like new songs. So it's Black Music Month, and every day there's a challenge for you to post in your stories. So like some of the stories, like today was a song that you hate that everyone else loves.
Yeah, and it's funny.
That damn.
What did you post?
Yours, mine, and ours.
Oh, I love that song.
So. I want to give you. Listen,
right? I love that song. I would have probably had to pick. I have to pick something R&B, like a Tyrese song or something like that, because
Tyrese. Do you have a beef with Tyrese? That's just like random to say.
Because I like Tyrese. I'm saying, but I know there's songs that people don't like that I like album on the album. You know, it's more like.
So it has to be a song that you don't like, though.
Oh. So no, that wouldn't.
I hate. Let me tell you something. TikTok will ruin a song. They use that song. I be seeing people be making Rice Krispie treats, and it's yours, mine, and ours. You be out playing basketball and you dunking on somebody, but yours. I'm like, why are you using this fucking song for everything?
Listen,
go away, bro.
Listen, it's funny. I just had to say it's funny, but yeah. So yeah, but the internet will kill something you like, and the radio. Like I like for instance, Key Sweat, Nobody. I used to be like, if he don't stop whining and shut up, nobody wants to hear this. Like,
you gotta go listen to Key Sweat. Key Sweat has a R&B radio show.
I heard. I think you put me on. I listen.
He be trying to
take women's panties off at night. Like,
because they be calling,
they be like, hey, Keep Sway, like, what you doing tonight? You know, and then they be like, oh, I'm just sitting here listening to you. He like, like, it's just so, I'm like, is this a radio show or a central? What we doing tonight?
they be fiending, and then he be selling candles. Get your Keep Sweat candles today at Keep Sweat. I got candles. Nobody.
I like Keep Sweat, his little hips. He know he be on them stage shaking them little hips. I like
and
Keep
you be
Sweat.
watching because you just brought it up.
Listen, yes, because he's he's still fine at this age. Let's not get it twisted here.
See, y'all be wilding. Let's move on. And something that everyone's talking about that I did not want to talk about, but I feel like as a man, I got to cover y'all fellas. Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
So everybody know that this breakup happened. You can tell Shakira don't know nothing about love. She just be hating on everybody. So with their breakup, as it came out, they said that both of them are devastated, but they're saying that the main reason, of course, we don't know what the reason is, but they're saying the main reason is because Michael B. Jordan wanted to commit. Lori Harvey is not ready to commit. And the internet has been blowing this up because most men feel like there's a double standard, right? So you're seeing a lot of women, and it's not all women, but you're seeing a lot of women who are like, oh, more power to Lori. Girl, if you ain't ready, you ain't ready. Don't do this, blah, blah, blah. They were in a relationship for a year, right? But then on the flip side, had it been Michael B who was not ready, it'd be like, he wasted her time. Why he do that? Why they go through this? Mm-hmm. Blah, blah, blah. So how I know we started to talk about it. How do you feel about this? Listen, and what is your take?
Listen, so my thing is this. If Michael B. Jordan know that he was looking for a wife and not just a girlfriend, then he should have made it clear. If he didn't, because I don't know if he did, he should have made it clear with what he wanted at the beginning of their relationship. When it started to get to that point where they were really liking each other, spending more time, starting to get serious and declaring that they were together. He should have made it clear.
Renting out the aquarium for you is not making it clear enough. Oh, okay.
What? No, but I'm just saying, like, listen, I'm looking to settle down. Are you ready to settle down? because then you wouldn't have spent a whole year doing all these flowers and renting out, beautiful suites and all of this extra stuff. That's the part of communication. And he was so happy to just get with her that he stayed in a relationship hoping that she'd be ready when he was ready. But the reality is, if you don't have that conversation at the beginning, yes, because I know that if I'm dating, I'm at a place in my life right now where I am dating for a purpose to actually meet someone to be with forever. So if you can't be clear about that, and she's not going to be clear at 25 about that, because the reality is she liked dating. She was fine with dating. She could have dated him for another 3-4 years, all she cared. But at 25, I was not thinking about marrying anybody. And so at 35, which he in that mode. He know what he want. You're a little more clear-headed in your mid 30s. He ready to have some kids and build the family and all that stuff. But the reality is, at 25, nah, son. At 25, I had a great birthday party in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I had 40/40 Club. I rented out sections. This is before I found Jesus. I just will say that. And, pop bottles and had a great time with all my girls. And that was what I wanted to do, continue to have fun with my friends. So even my friends that were in relationships, they men knew, like, y'all wasn't forever. You're not permanent. We will let you go real quick. Bye. So I say all that to say that this was bound to happen.
Bullshit.
Nah.
I'm calling bullshit. Nah. So here's the thing, right? And you just got on me about this recently, about intentions and what we do, right?
Right.
So when we deal with y'all and we just looking to glaze the yams, y'all got a problem with that. Y'all in y'all emotions, right? So if I'm in a relationship,
you're upfront with what you want.
What do you mean? If I'm with you, it means I'm sexually attracted to you. Means I'm trying to beat the cheeks. How does that get any clearer? Just like you said,
that's not what that automatically means.
Exactly.
You could be wanting to get to know me and wanting to know who I am, and
for what? You know what I mean? Women out here that
because you have the intention, because you have the intention of being with me.
Based off of what you are saying. If I get with you, then I just need to just come glaze the yams, because I gotta speak in tongues. I gotta speak in tongues, and I gotta make it all clear. So we in a relationship for a full
No, you don't. You gotta speak English.
Wait a minute. We in a relationship for a full motherfucking year. I done met your dusty ass parents. I done came and chilled.
Now they dusty? Oh my God.
I done did all this because there's a
you
frustration
don't go
here.
Out your way.
Wait a minute.
All this stuff.
Hold on. You went on your tangent. You told us about when you was at the 40/40 Club when you was 25. So here's the thing, right? If I'm in a relationship with you, it literally means that I see something in you that I want to build with you. If I am in a relationship with you and I'm committed to only you, I'm not messing with no other girl. I'm not doing this and that and the other. That means I am serious about you. It don't mean that I'm just dating you because I'm just trying to pass time. I'm trying to do something. With all due respect, and I say this.
That doesn't mean that after a year you want to be proposed to.
Hold on. With all due respect, and I say this with all disrespect. If I am dating you and we are serious and we are in a committed relationship, I should not have to make it clear that I intend to eventually want to marry you. No, motherfucker. You need to understand.
That's called maturity, sir.
No. But maturity is reading the writings on the wall.
Nobody is psychic.
Here's the thing, right? There's living in Atlanta, and I'll tell you from this one, and I know my female friends are gonna kill me for this, but I had to say this because that's complete bullshit. Living in Atlanta, there is no reason for me to be in a relationship with you if I don't fully see something in you. You know why? Because it's literally a ratio of 9-1 women to men with all the
right. That's why I couldn't live in Atlanta.
On the street.
Right.
Listen,
go
that's
ahead.
something totally different. So the fact of the matter is, if I'm dating you and I'm not dating anybody else, it's because I'm serious about you. If I'm not dating you and I'm glazing other people's yams, okay, then you can be like, oh, well, he's not serious about me. But for me to have to reiterate to you that we are in a relationship and I am serious about you is bullshit.
No.
It's lazy. And if the shoe was on the other foot,
nah,
y'all would be out
true.
here claiming that, oh, we're future.
Nah, not true, because you got to know what you're getting. You got to know what you're getting. You're 35. You go to date a 25-year-old. If you're not clear with her at 25, she barely knows all that she wants.
Big
and
dog,
that doesn't mean that there's
how?
not mature women out here that are married or got married. I have friends that got married young in their early 20s. So I'm not saying, but they knew what they wanted. So that's my thing.
No.
Before you got with her, she was still out here dating different men
when it comes down to it, their situation is a different situation. But from a general standpoint, what you said is ridiculous. There's no way in hell I'm dating you and you're the only person I'm dating. Now it's thoughts out here. It's thoughts out here that just want they
mean you're ready to commit.
Wait a minute. There's thoughts out here, right? And grandma, if you've seen this, mom, if you've seen this, I'm so sorry to the homies.
Not sorry. He apologizes every episode. Clearly, he's never sorry. Go ahead.
There are women out here who will let you beat the cheeks for a McChicken sandwich and some French fries from McDonald's. How do I know? Because I see my homeboys do it. I don't know none of those women because I'm a God-fearing man. Okay, but the fact of the matter is,
don't you get on this show today and start sitting up here lying because
I'm a man of the Lord and I live right. But the fact of the matter is, I do feel like I don't feel like that's a great thing to say, because if we're most men are not getting in a relationship with you unless like the way that he was with her.
There are men out here that don't want to get married. There are women out here that don't want to be married. Some people want to be in serious relationships forever.
We're not blasting out our relationship with you unless we are serious. Any man
but the
will tell you that.
Always equate to, I want to propose to you. No,
why not?
I know tons of people that have been in serious relationships for a long time. They're just in a relationship. They are happy with just being in a relationship. The woman either wants a ring, but in most cases, the woman always wants a ring, and she's the one waiting for her guy to come around and commit. Now, in this case,
but this is why they're not getting it, because a lot of times, as much as men are to blame, because yo, we do some fuck shit. At the same token, come on now, look at this situation. Like, and they clowning him for it, and that's what sucks.
He shouldn't be clowned for it, but
there's women doing it too,
right? And I feel like that's wrong, because at the end of the day, he knew what he wanted. He found a good thing. He said, "This is what I want. I'm about to put a ring on it." But the reality is, did you make sure she was ready? Same thing I'm saying for a woman that's waiting for a ring. I know girls that have waited 10 years for him to come around, and he finally put a ring on it because he wasn't ready. So my thing is, make sure whoever you date, serious or not, that y'all are both on the same page. Communication.
If I kiss you in the mouth, we go together. Okay.
That is just wrong. And if you going around kissing everybody in the mouth and you like, we together, nah.
You just completely missed the point. If I kiss you in the mouth, we go together, that means I ain't kissing everybody in the mouth.
That don't mean that I'm ready to take it to the next level with you.
Now I'm joking. I know this from a more mature level, but based off of what you said, I'm going to base off what you said, and I just think that's bullshit. There's no way in hell he was doing all that stuff. We're in a relationship for a year, and she don't know that he's serious. You telling her
to read the room. At 25, she could be dumb.
No, I'm not trying to hear that shit.
Tell you.
Man, please.
She could just be like, she would have been happy with being in a relationship for the next 3 years. And when she was ready, she would have told you.
Ain't nobody trying to hear that.
Who goes out and get a ring and y'all never discuss being married? Who does that?
Okay, but here's the thing though, right? I don't want to hear that at 25 shit, because y'all be talking about, oh, we grow up and we mature fast, and y'all. So a woman at 25. So a woman at 25
every woman don't want it at 25.
So they say Lori Harvey, but don't say. So they say Lori Harvey, don't say every woman, because every woman that I dated in my 20s was on some. I have women now. I just told you about this. I went on a date with a woman. The damn pancakes ain't even came out, and she was setting up ultimatums about where we're supposed to go after this date.
Again, you're in your 30s. You're in your 30s.
She was 31, so she was still younger.
Okay, but what I'm saying is she knew what she wanted. She was ready. But there's a lot of
all
women.
know that.
I know a lot of women when we were in our 20s that did not want that at all. They were just having fun. We dating, we serious. I got a man. We're having fun. So my thing is,
if we having fun, there's a difference between us having fun and us dating. With having fun means I'm gonna hit you up. I'm like, yo, I'm about to get this hotel. Come here. You know, let me beat
that's
them
not
cheeks for a
just
couple
how,
days.
no. So,
if I'm having fun, yo, come on, let's kick it. Let's go to this concert, whatever. Ain't no you mind.
Right, but sometimes
don't be posting me on your. Don't be posting me on your goddamn social media page. I said got, not G-O-D. Don't be posting me on your social media page. Don't be saying nothing. I'm not trying to meet your mama. If I meet your mama, I may want to have sex with her too. So there's that. I'm speaking. I'm not speaking. Let me make this clear too, because I already know I'm gonna get calls. I'm gonna get cursed out. Y'all know that
because Will's a savage. He should have been on the song with Megan Thee Stallion, and
I'm a
been next to that. I'm a savage.
I'm a sweet person.
Ratchet.
So you know I'm a sweet person. You know, but the truth is, you also know that I am a cut and dry person. That it is what it is. If we together, we together. That's why I call everybody the homie. You know what I'm saying?
I know, and I know the cold homie is homie, lover, friend.
No, we're not talking R. Kelly. You're the homie means that there's no blurred lines. Everybody's the homie unless you my girl. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Michael B. Jordan. You know what I'm saying? And then they're like, oh, he going back to white women. Well, maybe he is, because maybe
he is. He's not going back to, he's not getting another black woman.
That's a preference, but I don't think that's the case either, because Michael B. Jordan loves black women also, from what I hear. So I don't think that's the case.
Well, I hope Michael B. Jordan finds love.
All I'm gonna say is at 26, I was unfortunately engaged. I don't want to bring that up.
You knew what you wanted. You knew
actually. If I'm being honest. And this is the first time I said this, and my therapist told me I was full of shit. I had lost out on the person that I really wanted, and I didn't want to lose again. And I did love the girl. So
you settled for less?
I didn't settle. Well, I did love the girl. She was important. I didn't deal with the trauma. It literally took me after time to figure out that we weren't good for each other. I mean, she didn't leave it anyway, so you know what I'm saying.
All I'm saying is.
But I did I went on a tangent for a while after that. I was out here. I ain't even gonna say what I did, but yeah. So
all the song that pops in my head. I'm a hoe, you know she's a hoe. Da 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 da. That's horrible. That's for Will. Anyway,
that's horrible.
My theme song that came in my head.
Can I get to the yams? Sweet yams. Show me the way.
Will is living by this like in the natural. Okay, moving on.
Wow, you gonna put my business out there?
I didn't put your business. I didn't. You said that's your song. That's like your theme song for the month.
Song. No,
it's like your theme song for the month.
I see what you're doing there, but we're not
right.
gonna talk about ham hocks. Let's.
So inside. Anyway, guys.
And wrap this up. So what's going on? Shakira, I think I want a city girl.
I know you want a city girl. She a bad what she said.
I watched Carisha Please debut with Diddy. It actually did 1 million views in 8 hours. Did you watch it? What did you think about my new crush? Carisha?
I loved it. I love the chemistry that they have. I love that again. They knew what they want. They both said they having
fun. Stop this bullshit, yo.
They having fun. They chilling.
Shorty just said they in a relationship, and they in a relationship bad.
He didn't. So I feel like she should have took. Here's the reality. I feel like she should have took more control over some of the questions that she asked, because I felt like he kind of had a little one up because he wasn't really fully answering, and it was roundabout answers. And you 50 at the end of the day, you're 50. If you at 50 can't articulate, he was acting like a little 14-year-old boy.
You a hater.
You at 50 and you can't
articulate. You are a hater.
No, what I'm saying is, as a man, you done been through a few baby mamas. You done been through, trauma. You done been through the passing of one of your well, not one, but three
I
of
just
your
want y'all
kids'
to know if
mother.
this show get picked up by Revolt and y'all don't see Shakira on the show, that this is gonna be why.
No, this is an
Continue
honest
on.
conversation. I really like Diddy, and I'm happy that he was open to be vulnerable to have this conversation, because people don't question him like that, and
You
that's why
can't
he
call
messed
him
with her.
vulnerable. You can't call him vulnerable and say he wasn't answering the questions.
He
He answered the
wasn't, and
questions. He answered the question just how both of them probably wanted them questions to be answered. They gave you just enough to where you wanted to tune in, you wanted to hear
well,
more,
the
but
reality
not
is,
enough to where you was all up in
I'm
their
proud of
business.
her for getting the bag for the show, and he also getting, they both
She
getting
got
checks.
that
They
fire.
making money.
She
I
got
love
to.
her business sense. I'm not mad. Like, they both share that loss of a child's parent. So they have a lot in common. I thought the show was really good. I'm looking forward to the next show. I hope someone else writes her questions though. I hope she stays the same and continue to be who she is on the show. But yeah, I didn't like some of the questions that was asked, because I just wouldn't have put some of those out there
You
like that.
you sound like you already hating.
I'm not hating. Not hating at all.
You
But
sound
it was a good
you
show.
you sound like you already
And I'm
hating,
happy for them,
and
because they both know what they want and they're both doing
it
their
sounds
thing.
it sounds like you need your own show called Shakira Please, because you sound like you already out
Whatever.
here. You already
Whatever.
out here hating.
I'm not
So
hating.
that's what it is. I think it's an amazing show. Carisha need to call me because I got a crush now. You know what I'm saying? Call me, boo. You know what I mean? How you doing?
Diddy got the bigger bag though. So
Yo, don't make me say what I
all
want to say,
right.
bro, because I'm trying to get us picked up. Whatever. Moving on to our final discussion. If you have not checked, this is actually within the past 48 hours. Justin Bieber actually had to call off some of his shows due to finding out that he is dealing with Ramsey Hunt syndrome. He actually during his IG post, he actually posted, and you could actually see there are symptoms with his face. Literally, you can see one side of his face
That's when you
is
lose the
kind of,
muscle,
yeah,
right?
it's literally like a facial paralysis, essentially. So if you're not familiar with Ramsey Hunt syndrome, it's the second most common cause of automatic peripheral facial paralysis. I butchered that word. I don't even care.
Paralysis.
After That's why no, but you have to see how it's spelled here. It doesn't say paralysis. It literally says para, and then the second word is lysis. So after Bell's palsy, it's actually slightly more severe. It only occurs in around 5 in 1,000 people. It's caused by a shingles virus reactivation that actually happens in your face, and it makes people who had chicken pox as a child susceptible. So essentially we're all
Yes.
susceptible since we've all
No.
had it.
So speaking of which, if you are probably maybe 30s, mid 30s, and you had chicken pox in the past when you were a kid, we all should be getting our shingles shots, because that can help avoid. So, and in my stupidity, and I'll say this, I used to think only white people got shingles.
What?
I really did. I used to think that.
Really?
I did not know Black people got shingles at all. I just thought it was like this white disease. And I guess I said to my ignorance. But then I read about it. What? Shut up. Stop trying to read the word.
I keep seeing
you
this.
gonna sound like you got more than anyway. So once I read up, I had a few family members that have had it, or they thought that they never got it. So they didn't get they thought they never got chickenpox, and they didn't get the shingle shot. So if you are 40, I believe they say you should get it by 40. If you're 40 and up, then you should get the shingle shots to avoid getting shingles. So since I am 41, yikes, I do have to go schedule to get that, because I don't want shingles. I heard it hurts really bad, and I don't also want it to lead to that. Unfortunately, I got chickenpox at 16, which was the worst of my life.
Wow.
I had never got it, and I was never around a whole bunch of kids, and so getting it in high school To imagine, like, it was bad. Everybody's making fun of me because they all had it, and I'm grown out here freaking itching with chicken pox.
Not to laugh.
So no, you can laugh. It's funny.
The way you telling the story is hilarious.
It's funny. It was bad. But anyway,
yeah, they say it's actually caused by times of high stress, or immunosuppression. So it's literally like an underlying condition. So it's like a lot of times your body can't fight it off. So when you have chickenpox literally stays dormant in your body until something triggers it. So in this instance, it returns in the form where it kind of inflames different parts of the body. And for Justin, unfortunately, it's his face. He's asking for prayers. He recently stated it's getting harder to eat, and he's going through a lot. Basically, we just want to make sure we pray for Justin Bieber. Is there
a cure?
I don't know. But it's a cat, NLE Chopper. If you actually are familiar with him, he's a rapper, but he's one of those rappers who's like very health conscious, and he's actually trying to reach out to Justin because he says he has something that can help cure it. So it's just going to be a matter of time to see what happens. Justin said physically that his body is okay, but the paralysis is making it difficult for him in a lot of ways. He said, it's just it wasn't something that he saw coming. I believe he said he just kind of woke up and it was just there.
He's still in his late 20s now, or mid
20s?
Late 20s.
Yeah.
And so you wouldn't think something like that to happen to you. And it's crazy because the body is an amazing thing. We have all this nerve system and muscles, and you don't know what's going to trigger anything. So of course, what we put into our body, as God says, our body is our temple. So what we put into it really does also affect. And then out here, everybody's stressing. People are dying young for heart attacks, and younger, strokes and things of that nature. So prayers for Justin Bieber. I pray for a speedy recovery. I pray for a cure, and that he heals well, and that everybody watching, start to take your health a little more serious. And if you haven't gotten the shingle shot, again, definitely do that.
Yeah, just a final thought on that. I was reading here, and it does says, once diagnosed, it can be treated with high doses of steroids and antivirals, which can be taken orally at home for recovery. It says for more severe cases, patients are admitted to the hospital where they'll receive medications via IV. It also says here that the long-term effects, that although around 75% of patients will recover completely, the other 25% will develop some type of long-term nerve damage. So we definitely want to continue to pray for Justin at this time, and just kind of anybody who may be silently dealing with something like that, such as Bell's palsy. I actually have a friend of mine who actually deals with it. Very dope individual who I believe she was born with it.
It could be hereditary.
And it's just seeing, when you see a friend of yours, like, or somebody that go through something like that, it makes you very appreciative because it can happen to anyone. So
Yep.
I'm sad that we're ending the show on that note, but let's end it on one more note. So Shakira, what are you watching? What are you listening to? Tell us something good.
So I want to add to that because I'm watching All American, y'all. I'm binging All American. I'm actually on season 3. It's a really good show. I love Taye Diggs, and I love all the other actors in there. I'm reading a book called Laziness Does Not Exist. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay. It's by Devon Price. She's a clinical doctor, psychologist. And it's pretty much, we have a 9-day challenge going, but it's pretty much about changing your mind around, the terminology people put on you, as far as you lazy if you don't do this, or you don't have a high paying job, or whatever the case may be. So I'm reading that and watching All American. Right now I'm going to finish watching All American, and I'm trying to read more. Um I'll buy a few books, and I try to be like that person that could read two books at one time, but I don't it's really difficult because it's like I kind of like to just read one and stick to that and then go to the next one, because I'm trying to do the two things at the same time, but they're totally unrelated. Um so yeah, that's what's happening. How about you?
Um, I am all American is really good. I am literally just kind of going through the motions. I'm like trying to catch up on stuff that I haven't had a chance to watch. I recently today watched Journal for Jordan, which is Michael B. Jordan and Shantae Adams. My God, she's so beautiful. Shantae Adams is from The Photograph. She played
Oh,
Issa Rae's mom, the younger version,
yeah, okay, she's a
on the
great
show.
actress.
Yeah, she's actually going to be in the reboot of A League of Their Own also.
Oh,
Um, so that's going to be dope also to see. But I watched that. I watched All the Smoke podcast, which is really good, and they had episode of one of my favorite players of all time, Grant Hill. He actually just released his
he looks good
autobiography.
still.
Um, Grant Hill's so unproblematic, him and Tamia, and I think that's why.
Because
Like I think
and they're private. They're a private couple. Like,
yeah, and I did not realize like how much he does for like the city of Atlanta. Like, of course, he's part of the ownership group, but they're putting like $4 billion into the city to overhaul it. They're doing a lot. He's on like a whole bunch of different boards for like Campbell Soup, and
loving
everything.
it.
And he met his wife through Anita Baker, which is a great. So if you get a chance,
I
watch
think
All the
she has
Smoke.
shared that before, I believe.
She's so beautiful. She's like timeless beautiful.
Right.
Um,
She ages gracefully.
her and Nia
Um,
Long.
her and Nia
Oh
Long
my
is another
God,
one.
Nia Long.
We'll want to
But
everybody on the show if y'all haven't noticed that.
I love women are beautiful, black women especially. Um, Grant Hill's book, Game, I actually just ordered that, so I'm looking forward to getting that within the next 24 or 48 hours. So, that's on. And then I'm listening to Tim's, she her EP again.
Huh.
I picked it up again. It's really dope. Of
I
course,
haven't heard
Tim's
that.
is you don't need no
Oh,
underbody.
yes, I have.
That's
But I didn't know she had an album.
what no, well, no, that's not her song. She's on that song, but her EP was released like last year, and I'm just like listening to it again. But that's about it, man. We are at the end of today's show. We appreciate you tuning in and listening to us rant and bullshit about a bunch of stuff. Y'all definitely keep us going. This is what
Yes.
episode 18.
Yes.
So we're continuing to be consistent. We're trying to get better for you all, give you more content. And also next week we'll have our first 90-day check-in. With our goals, definitely working on a lot of that stuff, but we definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in to another episode. We hope you have a wonderful week. We hope you're kind to people, flirting with somebody auntie, you know what I'm saying, making somebody auntie happy, taking her out for coffee and whatnot. Yeah,
That's what Will plans on doing this week, flirting with somebody auntie. Clearly,
I try to flirt with somebody's auntie every day. You know what I mean? That's what I do until I settle down, man. That's just who I am. I like to see women smile. I like to see women happy.
Great goals.
Close this out.
Thank you guys for listening. It has been yet another great episode. We thank you for continuing to support Culture Gumbo. Share us, like us, tweet us, and all that stuff. The Culture Gumbo Pod or the Culture Gumbo Podcast.
At the Culture Gumbo Pod, yeah.
Well, they know they have to put the ad. Like,
but
you're not on social media if you don't put the ad.
But you said at the Culture Gumbo Podcast. We're not. We're at the Culture Gumbo Pod.
I said pod.
And then you said podcast.
Right. But if you search us,
don't clear it up.
If you search Culture Gumbo Pod, you will find us. But if you search Culture Gumbo Podcast on Google,
she just wants to be problematic.
You will also find us. We will come up. So
Shakira is the Lori Harvey of podcasting.
This is a hater if y'all never met one. His name is right next. His picture is right next to the word hater.
I'm not paying you no mind, Ham Hocks.
We will see you next week. Until then, peace and stay blessed.
Keep the main thing the main thing. We out.